Hello there. As it was the Big Garden Birdwatch at the weekend, I thought it would be nice to do an extra draw-along video focusing on one of my favourite birds to spot in my own garden. And that bird is the bullfinch. I love bullfinches. I think they're absolutely beautiful. And if I'm really lucky, I'll spot two of them feeding on the seeds and the buds of the bushes growing in my garden. It's usually a male and a female. They usually hang around together. They get on quite well. And the male has a black head, black wingtips, black tail feathers, a white rump, and a deep salmon-coloured belly. And the female has pretty much all of those things, apart from the deep-coloured salmon belly. It's just the male that has that. And the song of the bullfinch is just like music to my ears. They are so beautiful. It's a very delicate song. And if you stick around, I might do a little impression of one a bit later on in the video. So watch out for that. Today's bird is the bullfinch. And here are some things you might want to fetch to draw along. So we've got our paper and we're going to start roughly in the middle, and as usual we're going to start with the beak of our bullfinch, and their beaks are really small and really broad, perfect for getting lots of seeds and getting into buds for the seeds. So it needs to be nice and small and broad and a bit like a V on its side. And then we'll just put a line in the middle like that so that our bullfinch can open his mouth and his beak and eat all of those seeds. And from the top of our bill we're going to draw the head, and bullfinches have quite shallow heads, so we're going to keep the line quite shallow, so just a gentle curve, and then bring the curve down the back for the back of our bullfinch. So we're going to do that just now, and so you just want a nice gentle curve, and you can go over it a couple of times, and it doesn't matter if you get the curve not quite right the first time, because when we colour it in you'll just lose those extra lines anyway, so it really doesn't matter. You don't need any rubbers for this exercise. So we've got our nice shallow head in for our bullfinch, and then we're just going to follow this line, this curved line we've created for its head. We're going to follow that down its back for the back of our bullfinch. Okay, so just bring it down to about there. So if you think about the length of the line you've done for the head, and do that twice, and that's the back of our bullfinch. In fact, you know, I think I might just put in a little bit more of a curve like that. Okay, so then from the bottom of the bill we're going to put in the belly of our bullfinch, and our bullfinch has got a nice round belly, all those seeds it's been eating. So we're going to put that in, and if you hold the pencil high up and just move your fingers like this with the pencil, then you should get a nice curve for the belly like that. And you might find that it doesn't quite give curve that you're looking for, so you just go over it a couple of times until you get the line that you want, and then just bring that down towards the back like so. Okay, so then we're going to go back up to the head and just put in a couple of lines for the bill like that. It's taking shape, and then back down to here we're going to put the tail feathers in. But first of all we're going to put the wing in. So we're going to start with a line about here and put in a line like that, nice straight line. If you imagine the face of a clock, okay, you've got 12 at the top, 6 at the bottom, 9 over to the left and 3 over to the right. So we're going to use that for the direction of our lines for the next bits. So this one would be pointing towards more of 11 o'clock, I suppose. And this line here is going to go straight across to, well, let's say 3 o'clock, to keep it simple. Okay, so across to 3 o'clock, and then put in a couple of ends for the feathers of our wing there. Okay. Now you wouldn't get you wouldn't normally get a harsh line like that really with a wing. Well, not at that angle anyway, but it doesn't matter for this. Okay, then from the bottom of the wing we're going to put in the bottom part of our bullfinch, and we're just going to take a line here and go up towards 2 o'clock like that. And then from just underneath our wing feathers here, but in line with the back, we're just going to follow that line without drawing, and then put our pencil down and continue that line like this, and then a nice blunt line at the bottom, and then follow that line back up like so. Okay, and there's our tail feathers. Now back to the wing, there are some lovely markings on bullfinches, so we're going to put an extra line in to mark out the wing, and the way we're going to do that is just a line up towards the head like this. Okay, so there's our wing, and bullfinches have a grey shoulder part to the top of their wing, and then the rest of it is, well, apart from a white band, the rest of it is black. So we'll just put in an area of grey. I think we'll do it like that. Okay, and then put in a little white patch, say about here. And then the rest is black feathers. So we'll put some lines in for our feathers. And we'll put some lines in for our tail feathers as well. Like that. Okay. Now, bullfinches have a really lovely black head, and we will put that in next. So the eye is sort of in line with the bill, and put our eye about there, so a bit of a circle, and then if you put another little circle in the corner there and colour that in. Okay, so there's the eye of our bullfinch, and the black head sort of starts under here, underneath the bill, and comes all the way up towards the eye and round like this, and then out to the back like that, roughly speaking. Okay, and then we're going to colour in the head and the beak and leave some space around the eye, just a little bit of space, so that the eye doesn't get lost in the colouring of the head, and also the same with the bill. If you can leave a bit of paper showing through where the bill opens and in between the bill and the head, then you'll still see that once you've coloured it all in. So We'll just do that just now. I'll speed this bit up, but take your time. There you go. And you can continue to adjust your lines as you go. It's never it's never final. You can always adjust your lines. I tend to do that as I go. The next thing we're going to do is put some feathers in this grey area, and that's basically just a lot of U's like this. So lots of U's or W's, and some of them can be small and some of them can be a bit longer, like that. And actually when we get down to this bit, you could make them a little bit longer if you wanted, or you can keep them nice and small, it doesn't matter. You don't actually see the individual feathers very easily in this area of the bullfinch, it all just looks grey. Again, I'll speed this bit up, but take your time. Okay, so once we've done the grey feathers there are some black feathers just here, so we're going to put some lines in this bit. We're going to leave this bit white, and then we're going to colour in the wingtips and the tail feather next. Okay, so there's our tail feathers. I might just adjust the back there like that. As I said earlier, you can adjust as you go. So we're getting there. And I think the next thing we'll do is put the salmony coloured belly in on our bullfinch. We're going to start with this very pale pink, and going to go over the belly like this. And we're going to leave a gap down here because the bullfinch has a white rump, which is very distinctive when they fly off. So we're going to leave that as the paper. And I think we'll put a little bit of colour in the grey feathers, and we can just use our pencil for that, very, very lightly, going over the feathers. Very, very gently, because you don't want to lose the shape of your feathers. Just want to make them appear grey. And leave some gaps where the paper shines through, because that gives a little bit of light to your picture. I'm just going to colour that bit in. Maybe just put in some lines, some very faint lines here for the feathers. Okay, taking shape. Now I use a very soft pencil, so you'll see lots of smudges, but that's okay. And the last thing we're going to put in are our bullfinch's legs. So quite often see bullfinches on branches, so our bullfinch is going to be on a branch, and I think our bullfinch would have bigger claws than that. Okay. And then with a brown crayon, we will put in a branch, just like that. And I think we're about there. And there we have it, a beautiful bullfinch. So I hope you enjoyed that. Oh, and at the start I said I'd do a little impression of a bullfinch. So it's not going to be brilliant, I'll just put that out there right at the start, but it'll give you a rough idea. If there's a bullfinch about, it might sound a little bit, very roughly, like this. Ooh, I think bullfinches sound much more beautiful than that. But have a go yourself, see if you can make yourself sound like a bullfinch. So thanks ever so much for joining in, and until next time, bye bye.